Hi guys, welcome back. I hope my microphone is working. It's a little lower than I normally have it. Also, don't judge my makeup. I've been wearing it since 7:30 this morning and it's literally I think 7:30 p.m. So like 12 hours. So don't judge too harshly. But if you don't know me, my name is Amanda, also known as Mermaid Hair, Donut Care like donut. So we're here today for my October palette ranking. Now, I realized the other day that I never gave credit to who I got the idea of how I do my rankings. Um, my friend Caitlin over at Caitlin House Makeup does her rankings pretty much the way I do, except for a little different. So instead of just ranking the new palettes that I use every month, I rank all of the palettes that I use every month. Um, I do often buy new releases, but I'm not in the space where I buy every single new release and try out all of the new makeup. I can't do that. Just like financially, I can't do that. And I don't really have enough time anyway. But my ranking includes every single palette that I used for the month, new and old. So I just wanted to clarify that, and I apologize to Caitlin to never giving her that credit. She does break up her palettes into categories and ranks them based on their category. I just do 1 through however many I used that month. So I apologize for that, and now you know. So go follow her because I love watching her rankings as well. But we're here today for the October palette ranking, and I used 18 palettes in the month of October, which is less than last month. I think I used 22, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly, to be honest. Um, but I wish I would have used more this month. This was still hard to rank, so I don't know why I'm trying to make it harder for myself. But I also didn't do my makeup like 8 days out of the month, which is also more than I was hoping for. Um, but I hope that interests you, and I would love for you to keep watching. Also, I would love for you to follow along in my makeup journey. Please subscribe here, like this video. Also, you can follow along in my makeup journey on TikTok and Instagram. All of my handles are the same. It is Mermaid Hair, Donut Care. So let's get into this. Okay, first up is palette number 18. I did mention when I used this in a TikTok that my wife actually bought this palette for me. It was very sweet of her, but I've never actually heard of this brand. I did a little research on just on TikTok, and I found a few people that have used this brand and used their products before, and they seem to all like them. Um, it's the Bella Pierre Emerald City palette. So I've never heard of this brand before, and I had never used it before, but it wasn't bad. I only used it twice. I did get a couple cute looks out of it, but it's not totally my vibe. I mean, I say that as literally it matches my face at the moment. Other than that, also, I did film this look for a YouTube video, which will probably be posted shortly after I post this video, so just stay tuned for that. Anyway, you'll get to see it fresh and not after 12 hours of wear. Anyway, I did like this. So this row here is kind of what threw me off. It's like an entire row of gold shimmers, gold and like bronzy shimmers, and I feel like it's just not necessary. I'm never going to use that many different gold shimmers in one palette. I didn't have too bad of a time with it. It didn't perform badly. It's just not as good as some of my other palettes. It's always like kind of scary trying a brand that I've never even heard of. You never know what you're going to get. You literally don't know what you're going to get. But like I said, I appreciate my wife so much for buying that for me because she didn't have to do that. And she knows that I love makeup and she went out of her way to get that for me. So Anyway, moving on, we have number 17. This is actually a surprise to even me because I was just like not sure even where to rank half of these things this month. So number 17 is the Elli Beauty Smoke and Leather palette. I think this month I only used this one time. I feel like I used it right on the cusp of like September into October. Um, but it's just a super neutral palette. And I just like the color stories of my super fun colorful palettes just a little bit better. The quality on this is amazing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this palette whatsoever. Just preference wise, I prefer like bright, fun colors. The this Dusty Rose shimmer, freaking stunning. So this is amazing quality. I do have a affiliate code with Elli Beauty. My code is MERMAIDHAIR. It will also be in the description below. Any code that I have will be in the description below, but I just thought I would throw that out there. So number 16, I just threw out the box for this palette because I've literally never had such a hard time opening a box for an eyeshadow palette, and that stressed me out. So this is number 16 is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I only used this palette once, I think, this month, and it was for a look that I only used like a few shades. I did have like a little gripe with these two like shimmer shades the first time I used it. And like I just think they're way too similar. I don't understand why they're both in there. But this shade right here, Joy, is a really gorgeous pink shimmer, and that is the shimmer that I used again this month, as well as I think I used Cherish and Happiness as well, the two pink mattes. I do really enjoy this palette, but again, those two shimmers being so similar, it like always throws me off now. So I only used it for one look, and it was in conjunction with another palette. So I just felt like that one deserved to be a little bit lower for those reasons. Palette number 15. Now I'm going to, bear with me. Palette number 15 is the P. Louise Book of Spells Hocus Pocus Regain Focus palette. Okay, that is such a long title. I don't know what actually is the title and what is not the title. I just said them all. But this palette is really pretty. I only used, so I did it, I used it to make a rainbow look for Halloween. And so I only used like a few shades because I used it alongside my blends palette. So I only used like, I think, just dropping things. I only used a total of, I think, 3 shades out of all of this. Oh, I lied, 4. I used a total of 4 shades out of everything because I was making a rainbow, and I just did a matte look, but I wanted to use this palette before Halloween. So I used the shades that I could to help me with my rainbow look. So I don't really feel like it got a fair chance. So I felt like I couldn't really judge like the quality or anything based on that. I feel like it was kind of unfair to rank it any higher because I really don't actually know how good it is. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Okay, anyway, moving on, we have palette number 14 is the Glamlight Veggie Lover Pizza palette. Now, it's so funny because this palette has been up and down in my rankings so many times now. This palette has just been all over the place. It's been all the way at the very bottom, like a few times, and then it was all the way towards the top a few other times. I just feel like the more I use it, the more I really like it. But I didn't do like the most innovative look with it this month. I did just something super simple because I had to. Um, but I really do like this palette a lot. Love Glamlight's quality. I love the quality of this palette. I even really like the color story, all the greens and golds. So pretty. I do actually love this palette. So this month was really hard, and I feel like I say this every month, but it really was hard because I did actually enjoy all of the palettes that I used this month, especially because a lot of them I picked out purposely because it was like spooky season. So keep that in mind. There's no palettes that are currently like in my collection that I already like that I haven't already like like decluttered that I don't like. Like I like every palette in my collection currently. There's a few that I'm probably gonna wind up getting rid of when I do my declutter, but like there's nothing that I'm like, no, I hate that. It was terrible. Like, no, there's really none of that. I do usually find like some redeeming qualities in a palette and things that I do like and things that I don't like in the same palette. So it's always really hard for me to do rankings. But my number 13 palette is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, I feel like that's fitting. Number 13. I love this palette. I really always have loved this palette. I think it's such a fun and interesting color story for like a Halloween like spooky vibe. I really do like it, and I do feel like it is one of Colourpop's like better quality palettes. You know what I mean. Like Colourpop has like the could have been better, and then like the good, and then like the really good. I feel like this one is really good. For me at least, that's my opinion. I feel like this is one of the really good quality palettes that Colourpop did. And I try to use it every year around this time because it is spooky vibes. So number 12 is the Colourpop Witching Hour palette. Now, this was my companion palette last year when I was doing companion palettes. This is my companion palette for October, because duh. And I really did get some good use out of it. I really love the color story, even though that it is on the almost more neutral side. I just love the like burnt orange and teal and purple. Like those are my colors. I really just love them. And yeah, I have never had a bad experience with this palette. I really do love it. So that is number 12. Number 11 is the Glamlight X Michaela Pot 2. Pot 2. It's weird now because like I live in Massachusetts and like people really do talk like that. My family is from here also, and only a few of them like really have like the strong accent, but the people that have the strong accent around here, they really be having that they just don't have ours in their vocabulary. I just don't. I don't know. Anyway, I really love this palette. So I only used it twice this month. I think I used it, and I did really enjoy it. I'm not really sure actually why it even ended up so low. Probably because I feel like I haven't used it enough. Like I still feel like there's so many shades that I have not even touched in this palette that I want to. I just have not yet. But this is currently the palette that I am working on for my picking out of a takeout. So I do have at least one, if not two, more looks to be doing out of this. So I'm excited to keep using it. These shimmers, like there's so many good ones, and I've barely dug into them, and I need to. I need to do that. All right, moving on to number 10 is the 12 Days of Lunar from Lunar Beauty. I love this palette. I love the quality. I almost like forgot how good of a quality palette this was until I dipped back into it, because it is a very fall color scheme, color story, and That's the one thing that makes me sad because I was really hoping when I bought it that it was going to be like these colors. But either way, the shadows themselves are just so good. The shimmers are so good that I like could not be mad about it. But like I really do love this palette. But I only used it once, and I did like, did I use it twice? I used it twice, but I think I did very like neutral, boring for me like looks with it, and I feel like that made me mad. Like I want to do like really pretty, bright, colorful looks with it. So I think that's why I why I ranked it so low. Number 9 is the Elli Beauty Oh My Gourd palette. Now this palette, I don't know if there's a piece of, nope. This palette is so stunning for fall. Like it is so good. I love it so much. Like these shimmers are insane. They're so, so, so good. I love the shade Trick. Like this is like ridiculous. It's so amazing. I absolutely love this palette. I feel like it's super underrated because it is so amazing and the quality is just so good. I do love Elli Beauty. So this is just the perfect fall palette. I only did use it one time though, so that makes me a little sad. But I'm gonna try to maybe get another look out of it in November. Number 8 is the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights palette. Now, I only used this once this month. I used it once last month as well, but I did like a request on TikTok, and I used the whole row that has this multi-chrome in it, and I came up with like a super cute like pinky orange look, and I just absolutely loved it. So I think that's why I also did love the multi-chrome itself. It was so good. I was so excited about it that I feel like that's why this one ranked so high, because I just absolutely loved that look and I absolutely loved the multi-chrome. Number 7 is the Glamlight X Michaela Pot 2, the 10 pan. And this one is actually, I feel like looking at it, even though it's like really green, it's also like really neutral. But I love the look that I got out of this palette this month. I only did one look with it. Also, I'm doing my Glamlight bracket ranking, so that's why a lot of these Glamlight palettes I only used one time. So there's that. But I did a look with this darker shade right here called Tea Time, and it actually like looked way more purple than like a dark brown. With this light green, and I have a Hocus Pocus spirit jersey from Disney, and it has like a cauldron with like the smoke coming out, and it was literally the exact colors of the eye look that I did with this palette, and it was just like so perfect. I loved it. So I like accidentally made like a spooky like vibes look with this, and it literally made me so happy. I was so excited about it. So I think that's why this one is so high, because the look I got out of it was just so good. I couldn't handle it. Number 6 is the Odin's Eye Sea Talk palette. This is a collab palette with Lauren May Beauty and Odin's Eye. I loved the shimmers in this. This was so good. I did a look with these two, the navy, and then I topped it with this pink. It didn't look pink at all. Like it literally looked like you would have never known. It literally looked like I put like a blue shimmer on top of a blue eyeshadow. It was like the coolest thing ever. I love like shifty, fun shades like that. But I really did love the quality of this palette. I love the quality of Odin's Eye palettes in general. It was just so good. I love it. All right, we're in the top 5, and if you couldn't tell, I feel like I was a little biased this month. Everything was kind of like spooky vibes, so just keep that in mind. Number 5 is the Blend Bunny Sickly Sweet palette. I love Blend Bunny's quality. It's just so good. It's so good. I love the shimmers. I made like a very like cotton candy vibe look with it. I actually just the day that I'm recording this, I just posted an Instagram photo of that look. But I used Crying Sparkles and Cotton Candy, ironically enough, as my two shimmers, and they were just so good, so sparkly, so beautiful. I actually can't wait to dip back into this because I only did that one look, but I want to do something that's more like grungy with the pastels and see like what I get out of that. But Blend Bunny's quality is just so good. Like I literally couldn't physically rank this any lower than number 5. It's just like not possible, not allowed. Speaking of Blend Bunny, number 4 is my Blend Bunny Blends palette. Old trusty, like I wasn't gonna say trusty dusty. What was I gonna say? Like good old trusted, like Old Faithful. There we go. That was the word I was looking for. Old Faithful, I did a rainbow look for Halloween. I did a whole bunch of like inner corners like that I used out of this palette. So I did use this palette quite a few times, a bunch of shades to blend things out with. I'm putting slowly but surely a couple dents in a couple pans. So this is just too good. It literally has every shade that you could possibly need. And again, like I couldn't rank it any lower than that. So just not allowed. Okay, number 3 is, if I could get it out. Number 3 is the Little Ghost palette by Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyqvist. It was a collab. I did a super pretty like purple and blue look, and it was just so good. I actually just realized that this shade Boo is actually very similar to the pink that's in the Sea Talk palette. So I'd love to do a comparison of those two because I think they are similar, but I want to see how different they actually are. But I can't wait to use this palette again because I really only use the blues and purples, and I like really want to dive into these like oranges and pinks and like this yellow, and I just think this palette is stunning. And its Odin's Eye quality is just so great that I'm obsessed and I can't wait to use it again. Number 2 is the Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette. I didn't think I was going to want this. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know what I thought. I honestly thought when they revealed just the packaging that it was going to be, oh my gosh, like the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, Xenon MIDI palette, I think, right? It's all like black, silver, gray. Like that's literally what I thought this was going to be. And then when I saw the pomegranate in the photo, I was like, is it gonna be like burgundies and like pinks? Burgundies and pinks. So I used this whole side. I have yet to dive into the purples, but like the quality of Cosmic Brushes, I said in my video that I did with this palette that I feel like the quality reminds me of Glamlight, like the shimmer quality. But I don't mean that in any bad way because I'm obsessed with Glamlight and I love Glamlight's quality. So, but they remind me of each other and it's just so good. It's so good. And I absolutely love this little 12 pan. Like I feel like I'm probably going to bring this everywhere with me when I travel because I love these colors and I've been really loving like pinks and purples. And I have another palette that I'm obsessed with that is Glamlight, that is like pinks and purples with like a tiny bit of red. And like I want to bring that with me everywhere too. But this one, I just feel like I can get, and like this is almost, I mean, it's definitely a duochrome. I don't think it's a multi-chrome, but it's like so shifty. Like the shimmers are just amazing. The mattes were really great too. And this palette just excites me for some reason that I was not expecting. It just really excites me and I cannot wait to use it again. And I think for that reason is why it's at number 2. And then at number 1, I was going to say, if you haven't guessed the theme, is the Oden's Eye Trick or Treat palette. I actually wore this palette for my first day at my new job, and I really did like a very basic, like olivey green, a little bit like yellowy look, but it came out so pretty. I just like, I don't know, there was something just about that look, and like, and this color story also makes me super excited. These burgundies like excite me, the yellows, this orange, these greens, these are probably like my favorite color greens, and then this like almost like seafoam green blue. I literally have only used like 4 shades out of this, but like it's spooky season. This is literally called the Trick or Treat palette. This is like an amazing color story, and it just, again, it excites me. I cannot wait to use it again. So I just had to put it at number 1. It might be a little biased because it's spooky season, but I love it. I do have to say, Oden's Eye started following me on TikTok today, and I almost cried. I was at work and I almost like started crying. I was so excited. I don't think any brand follows me on TikTok, and I have like a decent follower count, but I don't think a brand follows me. So I was like literally on the verge of tears. I was so excited. But I do think once I get done with my Glamlight bracket ranking, I'm gonna do an Oden's Eye bracket ranking. I am not anywhere close to being done with my Glamlight bracket ranking, so I do want to jump in on that. I'm only on the 5th look. I think I filmed the 5th look, and I have a total of 16 looks. So I still have 11 to go. I still have 11 to go. And then I have significantly less Oden's Eye palettes. I think I only have 10 Oden's Eye palettes. So that will be the same thing where I rank them all and then put them in a bracket, all of that. But yeah, so that was my October palette ranking. I am very excited to see what November has in store. I'm going to try to take off less days, but then I'm also not going to push myself because I did just start a new job. And if I'm just like not feeling it, I'm not going to go crazy, because I definitely don't want to make this feel like another job when I'm not getting paid to do this. I do this for fun. So if I make this feel like a job when I'm not getting out of it, I feel like I will get burnt out, and probably very quickly. So I want to keep this fun for me, because right now it is what is fun for me, and I still get up really excited in the morning to get to do my makeup. So we're going to try to keep it that way. And I really hope you enjoyed this. What was your favorite palette in the month of October? Did you feel like you used more like spooky season palettes, or did you use just your regular everyday palettes? Like, what did you use the most? What was your favorite for this month? Tell me those things. I really want to know. I would love to have like some conversations with people in the comments. I would love that more than anything. So please, yes, subscribe, like this video. It really would help me out a lot. I am trying to grow. Trying is the key word there. And then I would love for you to follow along on TikTok and on Instagram. It is Mermaid Hair Do Not Care, as well as here. So if you enjoyed, that's great, because there's always more. Bye.